This is the Witcher mod class from More RPG Classes. I'll be taking you through everything we need to know, starting off with ore generation. Unlike a lot of the other RPG classes from that series, this one actually adds new ores and a lot more stuff than the other series, as you can see here. So we can now get silver ore. You can find these at about -30 to 42. And then 30 to -42, you've got deep slate and silver. You've also got dark iron, which is -64 to 25 as well. You can also find it in the nether, but these are pretty easy to find. Meteorite, however, is quite specific. It only spawns in caves and mountains at Y level 1 to 320, meaning it's very high up in the ground. So if there's a cave in a high up mountain, that's probably your best bet in finding this ore. There is a few other bits. There is also dark steel, which you can make from steel, which is made from blasting iron and netherite and dark iron together. There's also Demeterium ingots, which can only be found in End City treasure chests. Your mod pack that you might be playing on may, of course, added extra places for this to spawn, so do check. There's some new spell books that we add into here. Number 1, the Witcher Sign Manual, needing a silver ingot and hardened leather, which is made as shown. And it also drops from Ravagers. There's also the Witcher Techniques book, again made in the same way, and also the Master Witcher book. And this is going to be where we're getting our spells from. So if we put the Witcher Sign Manual into here, we can learn different signs. So level 10, you can learn these ones, and it will use this many experience levels to do so. Ard, Telekinesis, Thrust that knocks targets back. Igni, Compressed Pyrotechnic Burst that ignites enemies and deals damage. Axi makes the target incapacitated and vulnerable. Quen gives you an absorption effect. And Yurden, which slows enemies and deals some damage to undead entities. And that's all from the Witcher Sign Manual. You just right-click to equip it, goes into our Open Accessory screen, and goes into our spellbook here. When wielding a weapon that can use the spells, you will be able to use those. In the Witcher Techniques spellbook, we then have Witcher Reflexes, sharpens your reflexes, blocking 1 arrow or melee. Battle Trance, you gain movement speed, etc. Rend, it's a massive heavy strike. And Whirl, spinning around, dealing damage. The Master one has all of them in there. This has got all of the different spells. So if you were to equip and learn these spells in the Master book, which also has, it's got everything. You can see on the left-hand side here, we can use numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. on our keyboard in order to use these spells. Like you can see here, I can use this sign, etc. So those are the spells that we can use as a Witcher. What weapons are we using? Well, there is swords. So certain swords will do, better things. So, for example, there is Silver Sword, a Silver Witcher Sword. This is going to do a lot more damage to undead mobs, and it's good for a sign build, of course. So it shows here allows spellcasting, deals magic damage to silver vulnerable targets. And that is going to be a passive thing that will be happening when we use that sword, and that will be undead mobs. It does plus 2.5 sign intensity. If you're using a lot of sign spells, like I've shown you in the books, this is the sort of thing you want to go for. Steel swords, they are going to be good. They add adrenaline gain. So these are going to be good for a more physical build and are good against human foes. On melee hit, there's a chance to make the non-undead targets bleed. So they'll be taking damage over time. There is some swords like the Azure Wrath, etc. If you're wondering why can't you make them, it's because they're going to only drop from bosses, etc. when your mod pack developer codes them in. There are some really cool ones, Reach of the Damned, Aeronite, and Iris, for example. There's also like Meteorite Witcher swords. That will deal damage to silver vulnerable targets. So always read what it says on there so you know if it's a steel or silver type, for example. Like the Dark Steel one is actually going to make non-undead targets bleed again. That is steel type. So the steel and silver is the main two ones that you've got. We then have a lot of different gear to go through. The Care Morden build adds adrenaline, attack power, armor, and more sign intensity, meaning those signs will do more of their desired effect. If you're wondering what the adrenaline actually does, this is going to increase the chance that you get an effect called adrenaline and increases its duration the higher adrenaline you have. What does it do? Well, it increases your attack damage and your sign intensity and your sign critical strike perks. So if you have it in the skill tree, etc., if you've got one of those mods installed, then basically your critical strike will do more. You're going to do more damage of your signs or more healing, etc., of your signs, depending on what signs you've got. And you're going to do more attack damage. That's what adrenaline does. That's the Care Morden, and it's pretty simple, just leather and hardened leather. We then have a feline suit, giving armor, adrenaline gain, and attack speed, made with steel and silver. And then there's a superior version, which you upgrade with smithing templates that you can get. Again, obviously, to be found in loot chests, etc. There's a village weaponsmith that you will find in villages, which may sell you some. Village armourer, stronghold libraries, woodland mansions. This is from the Just Enough Resources mod. Tells you where to get drops. So those smithing templates will be needed for things like the master-crafted feline suits. There's a superior one, which you can upgrade, and then there's also the mastercraft. If you're wearing 2 items of this set, you get more attack damage, and if you get 4 of the items, so the entire set, you actually reduce the cooldown of one of your abilities, which is Whirl. Then there's the Grandmaster one. This, again, has a 5 set piece, which is the Medallion. It's a medallion you can get. Again, this is only be found in certain dungeons, etc. And it will depend per mod pack. Fencing spells and melee hits inflict injuries if the target has a bad effect, increasing the incoming damage. Then you've got the Griffin one. This is really good for sign builds where you're using a lot of sign spells because it adds a lot of sign intensity. Just going to be silver and chains there. We then go to the enhanced version, and then we've got the superior and grandmaster versions as well. There's then the Wolven ones, which kind of just a roundabout one. It looks about, yeah, it looks pretty well rounded. That set, I can't see anything too exciting. Your Ard sign has a good cooldown, etc. Jurden circle, well, on the Grandmaster one. Then we've got the Sign ones, which give knockback resistance as well. Tanky, I guess, on those ones. Yeah, look at the set bonuses. It's 8 health, increases crit chance of your rend attack, and taking damage has a chance to apply a shield for you. That's more of a tanking. And the medallions you can actually make, by the way, which go in your necklace slot. So that would be in here. In here. They go in here. Here you go, necklace slot in the accessory screen. That's where you put these medallions that you can make. You will need a thing of pure silver, however. It doesn't seem to have anywhere where it drops from. So again, this is going to be from dungeon chests or bosses, etc. that the mod, whatever your mod pack has deemed them for. There's also a trinket we can get here, different trinkets. They don't, again, have any crafting recipes. Oh, some of them, these Igni glyphs do, but like the lesser Igni one don't have drops. So once you get 4 of them, you can upgrade them. And then you can put them into your trinket slot here, which will give you, if you're using a specific sign all the time, hopefully you get one of these dropped from somewhere. Again, there's no crafting recipes, only on the greater ones, which need you to get 4 of the original ones, which don't actually have crafting recipes, so they're going to drop from places. Same with the Rose of Remembrance, Crystal Skull, and Sunstone. These are all just drops. No crafting recipe for any of these. But these also go in your trinket slot and have some nice effects. Like taking damage, you have a chance to heal yourself. A lot more in depth than the other classes in the RPG series, which is really, really nice. But that is pretty much everything you need to know about the Witcher class.